Hello, everybody. First off,
Hello.
Iris, you're right. I can't ever be on time. Absolutely correct. In life, that is an accurate statement. But we're here, and that's all
Yeah.
that matters.
This is going to be an especially chaotic ChaosCast because, for one, we don't know what we're going to be talking about. Two, we don't know who's going to be showing up. We just kind of left an open invite. The only requirement was that you have to have your camera on because you guys just didn't get enough time with our beautiful faces. So the first person we bullied into that, of course, is our very own Sashay. John, camera or leave, brother.
Yep, cameras required.
There's that beautiful face.
Hey, and more importantly, there's that beautiful beard.
Just so you know, Chunk, you are muted.
That is also accurate.
Did you want to hear my beard?
We want to hear your beard. We want to hear your beautiful voice.
Your beard absolutely can speak.
I'm trying my best, buddy. I'm getting there.
You are. Someday we'll have a beard party.
That sounds wrong on so many different levels, but nonetheless, welcome to the party, Sashay, Chunk. How y'all doing today?
Fantastic. Just got out of the shower.
Yeah. Have you been harassed by the community yet?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention because I've been doing yard work. So probably.
Oh.
The memes and the GIFs just started immediately.
Yeah, I was only hurt by one of them.
The Bert and Ernie?
Yeah, the Bert and Ernie one cut deep.
It was the best. One of the best.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Thank you, Crypto Meme.
So yeah, we were just saying that we really have no idea what we're doing, which is pretty standard. But we don't really have anything planned either. And so we basically just said, hey, we were on camera. That was fun. Let's be on camera again. Here we are.
Double docs.
Yeah. So now before we were limiting you to 1 minute, and Sashay rejoiced in the fact that he only had to talk for less than 1 minute. Now we're actually going to ask you about things like, how's it feel being on the project? How you got started? Like anything that you didn't talk about. Like, yeah, what do you do? Chunk, I'm not really sure what you do other than be a badass.
For the record, though, y'all can't ask us what we do.
Yeah, that's an unwritten rule.
I don't even know what I do, honestly. I thought you guys just paid me to be around.
I mean, I would.
We actually just pay you to be around so that you bring your wife to events because she's way more fun than you.
Oh,
correct.
It's not wrong.
Dang.
It's not untrue.
I don't think it's true.
Well, you're wrong.
I think that y'all are equally fun in very different manners.
We're all right.
Listen, Chunk, you bring the driest humor that makes me so happy.
I don't know where I got it from. I guess I just gravitate to that. Maybe it's making people uncomfortable that I'm drawn to. And they're like, is he serious or is this a joke? And I try not to let that be clear.
That's the best way to do it.
Just leave everything questionable.
Yeah.
Your morals, your opinions, your personality, your job. You got to keep your job as questionable as possible.
It's true.
Nobody can actually know what I do for a living. They just have to assume.
I thought that you just hung out with Bolon for a living.
That's pretty accurate.
That's kind of it.
The coattails are reinforced. Don't worry.
How about you, Sashay? What do you do besides be here since the beginning?
What do you mean? What I do?
What do you do? Like, what? I know you got brought onto the core team, but explain to me, like I'm 5 years old, what your actual job is.
Good question.
So explain like normal.
Like, I mean, you could ask Bolon how much trouble we had just finding a job title for me.
Listen, we had a very clear job description. We knew what you were doing, but yeah, the title was a problem.
You mean where we realized that we should just start paying him for the things that he already did for free?
Well, I really wanted his title to just be the Exterminator, but I was overruled on that, which is really disappointing.
Why? Because he just squashes bugs.
Exactly.
Makes sense. And I like how strategically Chunk just danced around the fact that I still don't know what he does. I don't even know. I know he has something to do with computers, and he's more talented than I am. But besides that, I don't
to
know.
do with crypto.
Everyone is more talented than you are.
True.
No, I mean Chunk just moved over to a new team, but apparently he doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, I do get to work with Pinecone and Goma, and Goma and I had a bromance in Barcelona. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that.
We all noticed.
Yeah, it's true. I think my wife was like a little threatened, but at the end of the day, she's a sex positive person and she's okay with it.
So do you like it more now that you're hanging out with the Europeans?
So I'm working on the API team, and we make everybody mad, but I feel like I have more control over the code doing API. Front end is kind of like a mess. Front end is like putting lipstick on a pig. That's just the nature of it. Ask any front end developer. You're basically just like band-aiding things and making this thing that's really ugly appear nice. Like that's all it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Covering up people's mistakes like mine.
So now you just switch to the team that just causes mistakes or solves the mistakes?
Oh, we all cause mistakes. Every if they say something other, then they're lying, or they're a salesman and not actually a developer.
I mean, don't call us out that hard in the community department.
Right? Yeah, how has it been working on the API?
It's great. Honestly, they have a really good architecture. Like we've been researching like ways that we can make things more stable. Like obviously everything that we're working on is really new. So we are trying to figure out like what's the best way to handle this. And so it's kind of just like a bunch of research and trying out new ideas to see what works. Like the most recent thing was the leaderboards. Like we just had queries that were too big and we didn't notice until we got into production and started dealing with the actual data. And so now we're trying to figure out like how do we make it like in our testing environment do we make it appear the same way that it does on mainnet? And so that's something that we're trying to figure out now, as well as other things, but that's something that's top of mind for me. Just because there's pretty big differences between testnet and mainnet, and then even running code locally on your dev computer and what's on testnet. So
That sounds complicated.
Yeah, that was a lot of very technical things that.
oh, I didn't even say all the technical words.
I spent a good 2 hours today thinking about how I could insert a system like Harry Potter where I could deduct points and give points to people and somehow figure out a way to have them win prizes. So also working on very complex things. You know, it's very stressful. You know, it started today because, of course, Sinjuru said something and tried to garner my support, so I doxed him 10 points. But then I realized there wasn't a system to where I could actually punish Sinjuru with points. So then, really, I'm spending quite a insurmountable amount of time trying to figure out a very complex system that he can lose.
Yeah, no, I randomly got a message from Rissen that just said, okay, great idea. Which sounded like confirmation of something I had said, except I hadn't said anything. So I was like, what? And he was like, a system like Hogwarts. They can be community can be sorted into houses, and then we can give and deduct points. And I was just like, I'm on an airplane.
I thought that you would be into it because you're super into Harry Potter and like all that stuff.
I am a very big Harry Potter nerd, and I think it's a great idea. I was on an airplane.
This is what I bring to the team, Chong. I show up, make sure events go off, and then the rest of the time I'm just coming up with brilliant ideas.
Just confusing people.
I mean, yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, to be fair, I messaged Bolon earlier today, and I was going to ask like when this started because I saw that it was at 6:30. I didn't notice to look at Eastern time.
I put EDT.
You did, yes. But I couldn't remember if it was a calendar invite that I got that said 6:30 or if it was just in the announcement. So I was planning on a different time. And then I realized how dumb I actually was. And
I guess everybody else that we did also was planning on a different time.
Apparently.
Yeah, there were so many promises from people to join us, and then they're not here.
It's fine. The important people are here.
They will
That
come.
is,
exactly.
that is true. I am here.
I mean, at least physically. Mentally, you're not here.
I
I mean, what? Quick question. In the last 48 hours, how many hours of sleep have you got?
What day is it?
Saturday.
Probably 5.
Super healthy. Super healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you for sure last night was about an hour and a half. The night before that, I don't remember.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is how I live.
Maybe I'm just old, but I can't live off of less than like 7 hours of sleep.
So the key here, and this is something that I've been telling people a lot lately.
Not trying to become old.
No, the key to success is abuse your body more often, and eventually it will just accept it.
I do that, but in a different way.
Like, I don't eat vegetables. I don't drink water. I give my body nothing but Mountain Dew, fried food, and fast food. I don't sleep. And eventually, like, my body has just accepted that it either runs off of that or it dies.
I hate you. If I look at fast food, I get fatter.
I mean, it's slowly becoming a reality for him as well.
It's definitely catching up, but
He made a comment the other day on my dad bod, and I was like, you really don't have room to talk at this point. You're starting to get there. That medium t-shirt's starting to tighten up.
I have a
Yeah.
fat 4 bod, so
Chopper, to answer your question, so let's see, everything started on Friday. I worked 38 hours straight between Friday and Saturday. I just didn't sleep Saturday night or Friday night, excuse me. Saturday night, I fell asleep at my desk and I think I got like 4 hours. Sunday night, I fell asleep at my desk again and I think I got like 3 hours. And then Monday on, I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 hours a night, except for last night, where it's like an hour and a half. You know, life. There's work to be done. Things needed to happen. They happened.
I think Tuesday night I slept 4 hours. And that was like the worst night ever for me.
You gotta get used to it.
I don't think so.
Like actually, like on the opposite, because yesterday I think I slept like 8 hours or something for the first time in weeks, and I was so tired because I was used to only sleep like 4 hours every night, and I was completely wrecked.
All right, here's a good question from the chat. Where do you all see DFK in 5 years? Sasha.
Why do I have to start?
More fun.
Because we want to hear your voice.
Yeah.
It's like I feel it's impossible to talk like in 5 years in crypto. I mean, even 5 months is crazy. But I think the way we're progressing now, there's like a lot of potential for us to like really be like, how do you say? Like, yeah, I'm missing this one word.
Do you need us to come back to you? Do you need a moment?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
And I will just add, like, I
Also,
think
hold on.
is fair. Like, there's so many conditions that we don't have any like control over. You know, market regulation. Like, there's things that just are out of our control. But aside from that, I mean, being a freaking baller game and still making more of a game for myself, Chonk.
I think, I mean, where I'd like it to be is kind of like full on gameplay. Like I'd like to be able to choose a hero and then walk around with that hero and like explore things, and kind of like a Pokemon Red or like a Legend of Zelda kind of game where you can actually like fully do gameplay. I think that would be pretty cool, at least as far as game goes. I'm not as smart when it comes to like actual crypto things, but
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. Cyrus said in the chat, Sasha is used to banning, not banter.
That's pretty accurate.
I already know where we're going to be in 5 years, at least from my perspective. Oh my gosh, Dreamer just joined.
Dreamer.
Surprise.
Well,
I'm not
before
looking
Dreamer
for
starts
water,
talking, I, from the event side, fully expect not even to take 5 years, but the same way that there's BlizzCon and these whole entire gaming studios having their whole like own cons, like that people look forward to every year. That's where we're going to be from my side. 5 years from now, people are going to be buying their tickets 2 years in advance to come to, DFK Con.
Absolutely.
I think
Dreamer, heard this question.
I didn't hear the question, but I heard the answer. Are you guys talking about us throwing our own events eventually?
We were just there for 5 years.
DFK in 5 years.
Oh man, 5 years. I feel like it's been 5 years.
Right?
Pretty much, right?
Yeah, I think a better question is like 6 months and 1 year, because 5 years I can't even fathom. Like, I don't know, when I like quit my job and started, what was that, November? It's been less than 6 months, and I met my old boss's boss. Now that all this is out, and like they had no idea what I was doing. he asked me, he's like, how's everything been going? And like we exchanged what's happened in the last 6 months, and it's like it feels like we've been in the twilight zone or something. So 5 years could be like 50 years in terms of our brain years. But yeah, in the future, whether it's 1 year or 5 years, a lot of cool things, I think. Events for sure. Risen, we've been talking about doing our own events where we're leveling it up every time and we're trying to get more reps in. But a lot of them we go to, and it's like, wouldn't it be cool if we kind of did all of this on our own and had funner games and people on DFK chain speaking and all the different builders in the builders program showing up and showing like how they innovated, pets and heroes and all this other stuff. And then we had people dressing up like things. And
Yeah.
had,
I expect cosplay events in the future. I expect gaming panels. I want the artists to get to the point where they're signing autographs for people, and people are just like in depth. And especially as we grow, if it follows all of our dreams, like it's a lot larger than even what we can imagine. Because realistically, where we're going to be in my mind in 5 years is where nobody else has ever actually been. So
I already have an autograph from Cinnamon Bun and Atlas, so you're gonna need to catch up.
now all the important people are starting to join. We got Dreamer, we got
Oh.
Mr. Vaughn.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Cinnamon too.
And
Funny.
Cinnamon, what's up?
we plan this. We're like going to trickle in every 5 minutes. So it's like everybody's fashionably late.
Never show up to a party on time.
That is true.
I told them in the beginning this was going to be the first like true ChaosCast because we didn't know who was showing up. We didn't know what we were talking about. We just decided that people needed to see our faces.
Yeah.
So actually, though, I'm glad you're both here because I think this is a great question to keep getting perspectives on. So, Mr. Fawn, where do you see DFK in 5 years?
Oof. And so many perspectives there that you could talk about. Technologically, I'll stick to, I'm excited a lot about subnet technologies. I'm excited a lot about what we just did with Synapse's messaging protocol. I'm excited a lot about the general blockchain space. So, in my opinion, I could see a really cool facet of our company being this is probably way down the road, but maybe like a consulting section of the company where we can, assist and help other companies learn how to integrate into, blockchain services that we've been innovating over 5 years. I think that'd be a really cool, something to explore down the road. Because I think as like more AAA games and more like agencies start to look into the blockchain space, I hope that we could be an established brand and community to a point where like people come to us like, okay, like how did you guys do this? We want to like start getting like our name in the space, and so we can start to kind of be that go-to looking at how to integrate and how to kind of do things right. We'll have a lot of experiences. We'll know how to not do things. We'll know how to do things, and that could be a really cool space we could be in 5 years. I
just want to say that, like, if we think that's 5 years away, we got to adjust our expectations because that's like already now. Like we have AAA games reaching out to us. We have, large, either investment funds or successful games reaching out to us as well that maybe are like overseas and not onshore. We have a lot of people reaching out on like tokenomics as well, but I think you're spot on. I don't think it will be our focus, but as we have an entity, I totally see like a revenue line in that direction. Most likely with each project that we work with, synergizing with DeFi Kingdom's features, DFK chains. I don't know. Who knows what'll be in 5 years? But yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think that pretty much every answer we give, in my opinion, I'm gonna be like, man, I don't know. I can't even fathom 5 years.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree. Like honestly, 5 years is so long. Like so much is just gonna change between now and 5 years from now. And if anything, in a startup, you have to be ready to pivot and adjust to the market. And the crypto market changes faster than any other market out there. It's just so quick. So yeah, 5 years is a long projection, but maybe I just took that answer and said, this is something I think will be cool, whether or not it's in 5 years or in a year or in 3 months. I don't know. I just think it'd be awesome.
That would be really cool. Cinnamon Bun is having some webcam issues, but he's here with us as well. Cinnamon Bun, 5 years, DFK, or just the future even, whatever. Time is relative. It's a construct. It doesn't exist anyway, so it's fine.
There we go. Now we're speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in 5 years, we'll have like 20,000 pets. Because that's all I can think about right now is pets.
At the current rate projected, carry to 2, it'll be 20,197 pets.
Are you ready for everybody to see all your beautiful work and everybody on your team's beautiful work? I know that they're so pumped about it.
Yeah. I keep like wanting to like share more stuff, and then I'm like, no, hold on, save it. Like especially the rare pets.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm like, we talk about it all the time, like the artists and stuff, or like it's just like we're so excited to like for the community to like see these, because like we've all like just put so much work into them, and like yeah, it's just really crazy.
And at first, it'll just be blue and gray eggs, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Required disclaimer, but super excited for that and for the start of it. And I mean, the art that we have put out, and maybe I've seen one or two that haven't been publicized yet. They're freaking incredible. They're so awesome. I'm really, really excited for it. It's been mentioned in chat a couple times, so I just want to throw it out there about plans for the 1 year anniversary of DFK. It is something that we have started kind of talking about, but nothing that I'm going to say right now unless somebody else wants to go on record with something. But definitely like recognizing recognizing different days, and obviously the anniversary would certainly be one of those. Piano Man, what's going on? How are you doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. Same question. 5 years, not 5 years. What are you looking forward to in the future of DFK right now?
Oh gosh, I'm kind of picturing just worldwide, connection to a lot of people. I'm on that charity build side of things, and I think as we can get education to a lot of people around the world, I mean it's pretty limitless on who we can connect with and bring crypto to, so, and gaming for that. Let's have a good combination. So
I think that's really cool. There's so much opportunity in the space, and being able to get it to other people who, may not have the opportunities to get involved or may not have the knowledge to get involved. I think that's really cool. And I know obviously that's, a pretty large portion of your focus.
right.
So that's really awesome.
Yeah, I've been watching the new build site, with some of the ideas that are coming in already, and education's huge. Sunbear and I, are communicating with a lot of people that have ideas for education and university style courses that bring rewards in the game. Because you've completed courses. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, for somebody coming in brand new, it's a steep learning curve, to get started. So
I've always kind of secretly hoped that, we would be, as we grew and our game became very accessible to somebody that's never messed in this space or been in this world, that's not like a long-term holder. I think one of the most impactful things that has kind of changed my mindset was our first ever event. We were in Miami, and I had a couple people that came up and were like, hey, me and my kids play this game together. Like, this is how I'm teaching them about investments. This is how I'm teaching them about returns. That to me is going to have such a huge impact on the long-term vision of our game, is that it's going to be a stepping point for people to start into this world. Something that's accessible for all ages and people around the world.
That brings up a really interesting. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, it always like it's awesome getting people that are like super like big investors and stuff, like people that are like super already into like crypto. But yeah, it definitely always warms my heart to see like people on Discord or just like in different places, just like where this is their like first adventure into crypto, or just like buying like a common hero or something like that, because it's like it just reminds me so much of like some of the best parts of like MMOs, like really great MMO games, where like there's stuff that like super hardcore people can do, but then there's also it's just like a fun like casual experience for like people with families and stuff, just like. But yeah, just one of the great things about I've seen in our game.
Yeah, something I was going to add there is I've been really like interested in the last 4 or 5 months that, and we discussed this recently, how at times when we're in meetings, I've had the opportunity to, train or teach, whether it's crypto or a DeFi or just general blockchain knowledge, to different team members who come from backgrounds that didn't require that kind of knowledge to participate in our team. And it's been awesome to just see how much easier it is for people to grasp these concepts given the context in which we're placing them. That's one of our very valuable principles that we kind of like we build on. But even one level deeper than that, it's been cool to see that like we're in this space where people, regular people, are starting to work in crypto, and I see this with partners. I see this with a lot of different people I interact with, where it's like, oh yeah, I've been a marketing manager for 10 years at X company, and now I'm working for this protocol, and I'm so excited about like crypto in general. And what I think is so cool and people don't realize is, even given the macroeconomic like situation that we're in, like the adoption rate is still like scaling up, and people are really starting to get familiar. Like you can't watch an NBA game without seeing 3 ads for crypto.com. Like it's like the world is starting to understand like this technology is here to stay. I know it's been like people have been more excited about it during up times, but I think we have just so much more adoption to come. And like from my perspective, it's so great when normal people who maybe aren't technology backed or technology centered start to like work in or experiment in the space and have a place to do it safely. Such a cool like opportunity there. It's been great.
I was actually, I don't know where I read it, I can't remember, but it was talking about how it assumed that by the year 2030, cryptocurrency would be like the main form of currency, especially like in the global economy. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I was watching something. I don't just like straight up. It was probably like a TikTok or something. So don't take this as like serious advice or anything. But I do enjoy a good TikTok here and there.
News.
It's my main source of news content. No, there's one that's talking about like a recent investors get together from like Warren Buffett and some big guys. They were just kind of talking about the state of the macroeconomics, and it helped me just recognize that like crypto is a very global economy. Yeah, it's a lot of our current situation is pegged to like the U.S. dollar, given like a lot of the main staples are there, and there's a lot of safety in the U.S. dollar. But it's going to be really interesting if you start talking. We were talking 5 years out in DFK, like you start talking 8 years out in just like the general crypto economy. That's an extremely like interesting thought to really dive into, of like what could that level of adoption be, what could our lives be if you start looking at like banks and the way they're already starting to like look into integrations, you look into like payment processors like Visa and what they're trying to do on different chains. Like it's here to stay and it's coming, and I'm just excited to be on the forefront of it with our piece of the pie, and hopefully we can grow that piece of the pie as big as possible.
That's where I've been seeing like Fidelity is going to allow you to use your 401k and involve crypto now. I've seen news about crypto-backed loans for mortgages, like all these big companies, these long-standing companies are basically trying to figure out, all right, we don't want to be the last people to figure this out. We don't want to be the last people in this. When you start seeing these big names start paying attention and start planning ahead, and as they pour more and more resources into it, that tells you more than any price on a chart. People, they spend money on things that they think are going to return money to them.
Yeah. We should take this moment to just say real quick, this is not financial advice. Like, I would hate for people to be listening to this and be like, wow, these guys just told me about all these big companies that are getting in. That's obvious. Like, there's a lot of articles out there you can go read about what we're reading. It's just nice to, hear it from other people and hear what they're thinking. That's an important concept. I know it's kind of become a joke almost, like not financial advice, but, it has to be stated that you need to invest with what you can and be careful with what you do, especially in the crypto space as it is new. I mean, no investments without risk. So just want to pipe that in there. But on top of that, I think I don't remember who it was, and if it might have been at Bitcoin. I think Dreamer, you went to Bitcoin Miami. Was that you? Did Kevin O'Leary speak there?
Yeah.
If I remember watching his, I think he talked about regulation and the positive impacts that regulation could have on the general economy. Was that there?
Yeah. So his point was, I think a lot of people in attendance historically have been just given the genesis of Web3 and decentralization, been anti-regulation. But at the same time, the same community wants mass adoption. And obviously, when others come in and buy the bag, so to speak, of those that are already holding them, it's a net positive. You have more liquidity, you have more innovation, you have more trust. So I think right now we've been in a stage of pioneering. And his message was, a key input to the next stage of max adoption and growth is a form of regulation to people, for people with money, with skills, with time to shift careers, to allocate money and capital to the space. They need to know there has to be less question marks. How do I make sure that I follow the rules? What are the taxes? If we create a space where those variables are removed and the questions are answered, I think his point, when you look at the global bond market and the trillions of dollars out there, if even a small fraction of institutional money were to move into the space because now it's regulated, the percentage change, the volumes, the speed at which things progress would be like nothing we've seen since the beginning, was like his takeaway. So he wasn't saying yay regulation, but he was saying if there's a way that the community can welcome it to a degree and educate people in those seats, and we get the right politicians, we get the right people that understand and support it and find that middle ground where it is not unreasonable, that's really where I think somebody mentioned 2030, the vision and dream there, whether it's not that day, that year. It would be hard for us to see that happen without regulation stepping up. And I think it's interesting, as mentioned, Fidelity, that was big news, man. Like any type of 401k, any type of traditional institution that is allocating money for pensions and retirement funds, there's a lot of risk to include anything that isn't considered like a mature asset. A lot of index funds, you look at them and they return, when positive, they return single digits usually. Sometimes in the mid double digits. That's usually when the broad stock market also does that. If we look at the volatility in crypto, it doesn't nicely fit into any 401k strategy. Even the strategies to allocate the hedge funds. The Bridgewaters out there, they're all weather fund. They're looking at high single digits, low double digits. That's the goal. All of us looking at DeFi and we're like, I'm not going to, 10 to 15% for my return. I'm looking at 50, 100, So yeah, it's pretty incredible. I think another piece of news from this week too is the focus on the Fed. I think this week actually was the SEC and ramping up their hiring as it relates to, and it might sound scary, like policing the space, but there's no way you can get to that 2030 dream without regulation. You can't get the regulation without people. And now you have hiring, a significant increase of hiring there. Like things are moving. And there's even, I think, with the upcoming midterm election, there's a very prominent candidate that is focused his platform on Web3 and crypto as well. So sorry, a lot in my brain about the topic, so I'll stop rambling. But a lot of interesting things
we asked.
That's good insight.
Yeah, and I only bring it up because I tend to lean more towards the purist side of like decentralization, and like I get excited more about originally I'm more excited about like the fundamentals of like the blockchain, but we've seen just like ourselves, we've seen how difficult it is to manage. For example, in our decision to dox, that was not an easy decision from a lot of us. Not in the sense that like we were. I mean, it's perceived, I think, by some that we were trying to hide and we wanted to maintain this like hidden approach. And when I joined the project and I'd never done anything that was anonymous before, the reason I was pitched it and I was like, okay, I can buy into that, was let your product speak for yourself. Let the code speak for itself. Let the protocol speak for itself. Let's not tie this to one person. Like in theory, that would be a beautiful thing. Like you don't need to trust Mr. Fawn. Like you can read his code and you can trust like the code, and that's kind of like the beauty of a smart contract. But as we come to docs, it's really opening us up to be able to have also a different kind of trust, where it's like you still don't have to trust Mr. Fawn in the sense of like his DEX is, you don't have to say like Mr. Fawn builds good DEXs. You can say like, well, let's look at his DEX code. But then on top of that, now that we have this level of docs, we're able to now say like, okay, well, like this partner, like you can trust that like Rob isn't going to, do anything malicious, and therefore a partner can feel confident. And I almost see that as kind of like a part of the way the crypto world is moving. Is just like we're all trying to like build this trustless system, but in some relationships there is a level of trust still needed. And I don't know how I just think that as the space moves, hopefully we can retain part of both. I hope it doesn't become like one heavy on the other, but some sort of compromise is probably how we get to that 2030 like crypto is the dominant global currency space, is kind of like some level of compromise between the two sides.
Would you
I'm just rambling here.
You open up the floodgates
to not rob us? Would that be an accurate statement?
Yes, that is correct.
You open up the floodgates. I think Bless is actually going to go look at all your code now and just start deep diving.
Right. Well, I do want to say hi to Sunbear. He joined a few minutes ago. So hey, Sunbear, how's it going?
Hey, and Pieface.
Oh, look at these people.
Did somebody else join? Pieface is here.
Yeah. I see, guys, we are genuinely surprised. We thought that there was a possibility it was just going to be me and Bolon hanging out and filling the space with our brilliant ideas. But now we get to rely on all these other people to make us look good.
What's going on, y'all? Sunbear, what you got going on?
You're muted if you're talking.
Maybe they can't hear us. I don't know.
There is muted. Pieface, what you got going on?
Hi. Hey, everybody. Yeah, it's going good. I like how you still call me Pieface.
That will never change. It took me so long to remember. I'm so bad with names. I can't learn a new round of names.
I may call you Pieface for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was like thinking about it. I was like, oh, do I need to make new business cards or like new team jerseys with people's like fiat names on it? But
Fiat names are the worst names.
yeah, it's all right. Well, I mean, I don't complain about it, but because I think, you know, my real name May is pretty, it's all right, but I'm sorry, Bolon.
It's okay. You can call me whatever. It's fine. What are you working on these days?
Oh boy. Yeah, so I'm creative director doing the creative in terms of like graphics, marketing, and we are getting really close with our merch store. We have our lineup that we're confirming, so we're really excited. I think I mentioned in AMA that we'll have like quite a bit of what we had at events. So stuff that was at ETH Denver and at Avalanche Summit, we'll like the t-shirts and hats, we'll put those on the store. But then there's also some pretty great things that we are adding to the lineup that's like fully unique that no one has seen yet. So we're just to give a little teaser. We have second best dad, his bloater illustrations. One of those will be a shirt for sure. So I'm excited for that. It's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna buy the entire stock of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all you have to do is remind people that floater is also tattooed on Bolon and a few other team members, and it'll be fastly selling our quickest selling item.
That is,
Yeah, I've got a tattoo of it.
you do.
I was gonna say it's gonna be funny to wear a shirt of it and then also have a tattoo. But then if people ask about tattoo, I can just show them the shirt.
Right. It's the best.
Just when people ask, you know, is this for the short term or for the long term? You know, you just rip out that tattoo. You'd be like, this is for the long term, baby. You know, this ain't going anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's permanent.
Has anybody considered changing their real names to their crypto names? I know we joked about it, but like,
It is
the
not
possibilities out there.
It's a conversation that I'm actively having.
Yeah,
But it's
no,
probably
really
not going to happen. But I'm trying.
Wait, will you change your DFK name to Dylan then?
This is my new anonymous name. Haha.
Taylor, seriously,
you know,
like what are the chances that your name's going to become Bolon?
See, the problem isn't like committing.
Give us a jewel price. Give us a jewel price.
The problem isn't committing to doing it. It's
we can crowdfund it.
It's the process itself of like having to go through and update everything.
Give us a jewel price. I'll hire someone to go do it for you at that price.
Bolon will help, or yeah, Rissen will help. He'll give all the guidance.
I just said, dude. I don't. You don't need to commit right now. You can think about it.
35.
Oh. Okay.
Wait, you just said 35 Jewel. You'll change your name to Bolon?
No. Jewel
at the
30.
price.
Oh,
Jewel, what?
No,
drop your address right now. It's over.
Everything that we promise
35
is
Jewel
based
Bolon.
off of jewel price. Where we have car giveaways, we have a plan for some form of American Gladiator system.
What is this? I've been hearing these promises.
Yeah. So if Jewel gets,
if I know them, I'll be more motivated. You guys have been withholding motivation from me.
If Jewel gets to $100, Rissen and I have committed to giving away a car each. However, for the process of that, there's talks about like renting out the Price is Right studio. Maybe we haven't figured all the details out, but we want to get like 20 people or more who like qualify for the cars, bring them all into one place, have an American Gladiator style competition to eliminate some of them.
When you say American Gladiator, we're not talking like Hunger Games, America. Like, we're talking
American Ninja War.
Well, it depends on. We could probably like buy an island at that point.
Yeah, we're just We're just gonna put him on a room and say, "Last one that survives, you can have this car."
I also
That's what I'm
promised
hearing.
2. I promised 2. The only thing is that 2 people are gonna win from me, but one of the 2 people is going to have to watch the car be lit on fire.
I was getting to that. I was building up to that, but
Yeah.
But yeah, American Ninja Warrior, some other competitions, and then the third winner, they get their car just burned in front of them.
Also,
that took a dark turn. I was like, these guys are so nice.
Then they
I was
get to
wondering in the
walk
back of my
away
head,
with
like,
experience.
are
we had
these
to bring
cars?
the chaos back into it, you know.
Clearly,
it would be awesome. Really would.
We also did qualify it with at least like, because people were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna bring out like a 1988 Camry." We said about a $50,000, like imagine like about a $50,000 car is what we're thinking in the
Do a
range of.
testing and get Elon involved.
Probably could if we hit 100.
well, I just wanted to say I'm really glad that Pi showed up, because before that, this was a beard convention. I don't know if anybody noticed, but there's like various beards happening with no excuse not to have one. So thank you, Pi. I really I appreciate you showing up. And since I'm speaking, and what's that?
I need a beard now.
Bolon's got that extra one you could borrow. That big.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I have a really nice knit beard.
Like Viking.
Yeah. Comes with a hat too. Beanie.
Well, I'm in a hotel, and apparently my internet isn't great. But I wanted to say, while obviously you can hear me at least somewhat, to reminder to anybody who's watching that right now the voting for the charities is live. And so the charities that I put up a thing and collected a bunch of recommendations from the community a couple weeks ago, and went ahead and entered those into our new system where we can vote stuff up. And so you can go ahead and vote stuff up, or you can even add new stuff to vote up. And it's going to go through Monday at the AMA. And then we're going to launch this next week our next charity event, which I'm super excited to tell you about. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that as well, and definitely go vote. There's there's so many good causes out there, and so we're excited to be able to help support them and be able to point that in a direction that's chosen by you guys. So
Speaking of which, in some bears, trying to just squeeze that in there, I need to go have dinner at some point. So we're probably going to start winding down this. So if anybody has any last things that they want to kind of get out there, or something they want to say, we always want to hear Sashay talk more. He's strategically not said anything. So why don't we just turn to Sashay first? Any last things you want to add, Sashay?
You're so mean. No, I mean it's really great. The last weeks, I think they were a big trial for the community, for the team, for everyone involved, and it really feels like we've grown out stronger. Like every one of us, both the team, the community, everyone involved. So it's really nice that now it's calmed down a bit. We got time to talk about the future, what we're planning to do, how we want to do it. So it's great.
Now, Sasha, can you say that in German, just so I can hear your German?
No, don't do this to me.
We've never heard you speak German.
Just say anything you want in German. Just give us like a
If you want, you could yell at me in German.
That would be amazing.
Actually, yeah, I'll take that route.
What should I yell?
I mean, you could just tell me about how bad of a job I'm doing, or how I keep pressuring you into talking. I don't know. All I know is that each individual word's going to take like 20 seconds for you to say.
Can you say I want to pull Rissen's beard?
I want to pull what?
Rissen's beard.
Oh, ich will an Rissens Bart ziehen.
Yeah, that's great.
See, this whole thing has been worth it.
There is a really good question. Is there like is there a way to say bullish in German?
I don't think so, actually.
That means you get to invent it. Just
That's
try and
what
keep it under
Yeah.
30 characters.
Not only do you get to invent it, but I feel like we could all start using it at the end of our AMAs and our meetings and everywhere else that we always end on bullish. And then that way, like, DFK can spread German bullish through the crypto community.
Yeah.
We
Like
can get hats. Like, we can make this a thing.
if you like translate it literally, it sounds so awful in German. Because like bull is Stier in German, and if you translate it like stierig, it sounds so weird. Oh god.
Stierig.
Stierig.
Derek.
Stierig.
I can get behind this.
Stierig.
No,
Sasha, I know
please
these guys
don't.
give you a hard time, but it's because they love you, honestly. Like we are I feel so glad that you're a part of our team now. The dedication you've put into it from the beginning. You know, when I was here and y'all talk about how it started, how organic it really was. Like the team didn't really advertise. They didn't go to Harmony, get a grant. Like we just like y'all just built. That's something I really admired being a player from early on, is just these are these voices on this AMA that truly care about what they're doing. They won't put out any crap. You know, they put out quality product. They're not advertising. They're not going, you know, to try and like make all the money, but they just want to build something really good and then see what the world does with it. And I feel like you fit right in with that, Sasha. Like you know, I feel like I've got a gentle heart and a big heart about like how I want to do things in the world. And I see you doing big things, even though you have a quieter voice sometimes in here. So I just think you're in good company.
Yeah, wow, you really made it sound a whole lot better than I meant it. So thank you, Summer.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, I want to say. Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to say hi to Jippy. Chom's
Yeah, hey, Jippy.
better half.
Oh, hey.
Taking a note of the fact that we need less beards.
Yes. I was going to say, you know, our team has quite a few people from international locations. You know, there's quite a few in the U.S., but a large part of our team is from international, you know, different places. And it's such an amazing thing to have people from different backgrounds on the team. Like, I love working with Sasha. He's the only one here right now because the rest of them aren't crazy and go to sleep at a normal hour. Because it's like probably like 3 a.m. or something like that for you. It's gotta be pretty late.
It's still like 1:30. Just
okay.
Just like still 2-3 hours. I'm online.
Yes. Okay.
Did anyone else see
But yeah,
scratch his head with a hammer?
Yeah, what was that?
wait, what?
Yeah.
That's how he squats the bugs. It's just wham, wham, wham.
No, this is just like Ben the Bad Boys. No, because like the last time we did the dogs party, people were asking where my banhammer is. So this time I was prepared.
Wait, let's see it. What is
That's the
it?
Van Hammer.
Yes.
It's an actual hammer.
Phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Does anybody else have anything they wanted to add?
I'll do a shout out for somebody. So there's a musician in the space that like really likes DFK. I just dropped a music video in there. He did a rap for us when we were on his show, like, I don't know, 6 months ago, Cassius Cuvée. I see him at like every time we go to an event, I see him and we end up hanging out for a while, walking around at Bitcoin Miami. We didn't have a huge presence there, but that guy was going around telling everybody that talked to him about DeFi Kingdoms. But I just saw over on here that he released a video today, and there's like a really small part with me in it, and he coined kind of a phrase I hadn't thought of before. I think it's in the rap. You can go check it out at like 1 minute 47.
Where'd you drop the link?
Right in chat. I don't know how the delay works. I dropped it in when I'm talking, so like people might have to go scroll up. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's Cassius
About
Cuvée.
45 seconds.
It's called IRL in real life. However that works, or people can get it. I don't know. I could put it in Discord too, I suppose.
And Sunbear also, Bless asked, can you ask Sunbear how we vote up the projects on the site?
Oh, okay. So when you go to the charity site, there's just a little vote button. Oh, you know what? He might be asking about the grant site, is my guess. I'm talking about the charity sites.
Gotcha.
The charity site, right, that we're doing this weekend. On the grant one, you don't vote those up. You can go in and like them. You can go in and comment. That's more of just a transparent process where, you see what people propose. You see the rating form that we fill out to give them feedback and everything like that. You see the responses to that. They're going to put up a Q&A from all the answers or responses they've given to the community. So it's a transparent process, but it's not a vote up process at that point. Once that we've got everything set for their proposal, like they have everything in there that they need, they've got the, kind of the sign off from the team and everything like that, then we'll actually put it out to it. We'll schedule a vote out 5 days. There'll be an infographic that goes out to Discord and Twitter and everything, and people have a chance to really digest it before they vote yes, no on it. So that's that vote process is toward the end of the proposal process before we jump into really providing that grant form. But the charity piece, you can go vote up the charities that people have put out there that you want DFK to focus on. Did that clear it up?
Yeah, I hope so. It seems that it has, because Bless is answering.
Yeah.
So yeah, first of all, Bolon, me wanted to thank you all for showing up and joining us and showing your beautiful faces and not leaving us out on our own in the wild. But me hungry, and so I'm going to do us all a favor and say that we are towards the end. Bolon, add anything?
Thanks for everybody being here. Steerlig, and looking forward to whatever's coming next.
All right.
Steerlig.
I'm not saying that word. Bullish.
Take care, y'all.
Bullish.
Bullish.
Bullish.